Thank you for tuning into an episode of Get Lifted. 30 is the new 20. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe, and click the notification bell so you're notified the next time we post or go live. I'm Rafa.
That's my good. What's good, y'all?
Y'all.
Yeah, my country. We in the building though. We here, man. Took us it took us a while to get here, but we here in rare form.
You wrote too? Okay.
Here in rare form, y'all. How's your weekend been so far? Huh? Well, it was an all white party yesterday. I was gonna go to it, but I ain't go shopping or nothing like that. So I was like, I don't feel like going to it, whatever. But I know that it was people that I know that went to it. Like some of my people went, but you know what it is? It's like I don't think really want to go out like that no more. I don't know. Maybe I'm just old because a lot of people be like, "Yo, you not that old. You the same age, whatever."
Me and Greg Brewer, we went to the same school.
Great dudes
I
out there.
never.
Yo, shout out to Arizona for coming outside. Apparently this is not new, but Arizona came out with these,
Yeah, I had this.
Arizona hard pause. Cowboy cocktail. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm gonna try it.
It sound kinky.
But we here, y'all. We here, y'all. We got a few things to talk about. Um, so uh, first thing we're gonna talk about Big Tigger and his
Baby mom.
involvement with his baby mother and him allegedly DAing her, you know what I mean? DBing her, whatever, however y'all want to say it. And then a Texas neighbor confronting a young boy um, coming to coming to their door with a whip,
Looking for the daughter.
looking for the daughter. Um, Popular TikTok creator with no arms and legs gets married. That was interesting. The mother and daughter are arrested after police allege they posted featuring luxury bags and investigators say were stolen. And they had that music in the background from
Carisha.
Young Miami.
So they told on themselves because they out there boosting and they posting content with the merchandise that they done boosted and
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it.
mother and daughter. This
And
what you teaching your kids to be
social
like.
media,
This is
social media has become a courtroom before the courtroom. Are people too quick to judge based on viral clips? How much responsibilities do creators have for what they post online? And are we losing perspective in the pursuit of going viral? We're gonna talk about that tonight. And do we have anything before we get into that? Do we have anything else that's not on the list that we wanna we wanna discuss before we dive in? I do have like a little bit to talk about. Like um I said I wasn't
seed
gonna talk
juice.
about that. That's one of the topics, ain't it? Oh yeah, that's not there, but yeah, that's definitely something that we're gonna talk about.
But you ain't say it.
I didn't say it. Would you like to talk about that? That's one thing that wasn't listed. We can talk about that.
You could say what you're saying, but you said it was there
Yeah,
anything
that's
else.
what I say. Anything we didn't talk about, and that's one that was supposed to be listed, but you know, Um, but anyway, there was something that I wanted to discuss. Tell me how you guys feel about this. So a lot of people um, are reluctant to entertain long-term relationships, especially marriage goals. So we gonna talk about a lot of stuff today. Some things pertaining to relationships, uh, how we feel about the dynamic of relationships, and how people are affected by these dynamics. So, like overall, everything that we say, this is a disclaimer. These are opinions. Might be biased. I might have a stance from a gentleman's point of view. I might have a stance from a lady's point of view. Um, but logic logic stands tall. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm just gonna keep that out there. So a lot of times there's gonna be a discourse based off of the logical matter of the particular situation. So I will try my best to remain objective because I don't want to use myself as as a catalyst in these situations. But some of these situations are not common to me. You know what I mean? They may be common, but it's not in my life. These don't have now, mind you. Even though it's not in my personal life, I still know people that have dealt with these matters personally on a personal level. So I can still chime in from anecdotal experience, from shared experience with others, just like we do. But that doesn't make it a fact. That's just okay, this person dealt with this. But even still, the
It's
average
it's a fact,
goes
but not
against.
for everybody.
Well,
It's
it's
in
it's
that
a
situation.
personal truth. But here's the thing. Overall, when we're talking about general things, it's gonna go by the larger number. So yeah, we could say, okay, yeah, there are some outliers. Absolutely, there's always going to be that. But what I really want to dig deep into is the number that we really need to worry about is the higher number because that affects us as a collective more so than the smaller number. The smaller number, there's definitely a discussion to be had there as well, where we can maintain these smaller trends, but the bigger trends are definitely the animal that you want to go after first. So that being said, in the dynamic of relationships, just to kick it off with this, um, if you're dealing with a partner that doesn't respect you, um, it's going to be difficult. Now, respect looks different for everybody. I'm not going to do the definition thing. It is what it is. But if you feel disrespected in a relationship, you need to be transparent and let that person know this is not going to fly. I don't like this. Whatever that is. Some people have a sliding scale or a gray area in terms of what they consider to be respectful or not. Some people can curse at each other and that's their love language. Some people hear that and like cringe because they think it's disrespectful, right? But you got to look at it from the terms of what works for certain people. If this works for you, there's an old saying in the hood: "What you eat doesn't make me shit." So it may work for some, it may not work for you. But the understanding is, what does this look like in totality overall? What do we normally see? And we're influenced heavily by what we see on social media. Everybody's opinion is shaped by that without having context. The assumption of this is why, this is what happened. We all do it. I do it a lot because, again, the anecdotal affects my opinion of a certain situation. But I'll stand on, I'm not sure, but this looks like, which still gives me plausible deniability. So it's kind of safe. You know what I mean? It's kind of cheating in a way because I'm taking the pillow on my fall. You know what I mean? Like so it doesn't hurt as much. But at the end of the day, I can feel how I feel from an opinion standpoint. But when I look at it, as a collective, social constructs determine what we think is right and what we think is wrong. So I'm gonna ask you as a female, and this is just for you, and you don't have any experience with this, so it will be hypothetical. But I just want to know from a female, from your perspective, rather, because you are a female, but it doesn't matter if it's your perspective. From your perspective, how would you feel about you've been married to somebody for a period of time? And I said I wasn't going to talk about this, but I'm not going to say any names. But you've been married to a person for a period of time. And in the period of time that you were married to this person decided they were going to step out. Now, they never did anything bad that you know of throughout the relationship, but they did this. You've been married for over a decade. How do you handle this situation? Do you fight for it, even though this person did what they did and they've been doing it for a while? Do you fight for it or do you leave this situation? And why? There's a reason I'm asking this. She's waiting for it. I gotta wait for her answer because my answer is from a male perspective. So the dude is the culprit. Let's make this what it is. It's for men. Men fucked up. You guys are married.
It depends on the dynamic of the relationship. I no longer, when it comes to romantic relationships, I don't necessarily go with societal norms like that you have to be that you have to be uh one person in a relationship. There's a man and a woman, or that it have to be. You gotta get married and whatever. Like everybody has different types of relationships. Some people have open relationships. Some people agree to let their significant other engage with other people from the opposite sex. Some people let their partner eh, um engage with people from the same sex, and that's what they discuss and that's what they agree to. And it's not cheating if that was a conversation that was had in the beginning and y'all came to and y'all had an understanding about it and it was accepted. It's only cheating when you hide it and you lie about it. And my thing is that there are women out there that would accept you. It may not be the ideal situation, but they'll allow it because they if you are providing them everything else that they want. There are some women that will concede and be like, okay, if I'm tired today, uh, tonight, or sometimes I'm not, or for a time when I'm not in the mood, then you can go out, call somebody. If you go on vacation, you get a whole pass or whatever. Or if I'm on my cycle and, or whatever, I got stuff
Wait, so
going
you
on.
so you agreed to a hall pass? Say, tell them what a hall pass is, one. And
I said that it depends on the dynamic of your relationship. If they didn't discuss that, this is the issue that I have with is transparency. Because it's 2026 and there are people that will agree to be like, okay, you can, because a man when they cheat, they don't necessarily not want to be with a woman with their wife. They just want a variety. They want to sleep with someone else. They had the opportunity to do it. They don't just want to be with one woman. Uh, so that's why I do that. Typically, a man doesn't leave his wife for the woman that he's cheating on her with. Um, he goes and have fun, and then he come back home. And then some women are like, oh hell no, F that or whatever. And then they're like, I'm not putting up with that. And then they leave the man because he cheated and they find out that he did that. But then what's the alternative? If your goal is to be in a relationship with someone that you actually want to be with, not someone that you just that's who you were just able to get and it's good enough, but you're not really into that person, but they're good on paper, but there's no real connection, there's no compatibility. You just got somebody to be in a relationship with, as opposed to somebody you actually like. This is the person you willing to they check all the boxes, majority of the boxes, at least 80% of the things that you're looking for. But the only caveat is that from time to time it might sleep with them. Now nobody wants to be cheated on, but it's only cheating if you snuck and did it. When you cheat on a test because you were trying to be deceitful. If you agree to something, then it's not. And that's why I said, what's the alternative? Because if you leave
Well,
him
you know what the
thinking that
alternative is.
if you leave him thinking that it's going to be uh that oh you left him because he cheated and then you get with someone else that's perfect in your eyes. Nobody's perfect, but perfect to you or whatever. They check all the boxes. They're gonna do it again because they have the option to do it. So it's like, do you if you want a relationship, then you have to recognize like there are things that you don't have to do. So you could find somebody that may be less likely to cheat, but I've come to recognize that even the guys that you think wouldn't do that, that they're like the good guy, they're perfect, they check all the boxes, you might be considered a simp by other men and stuff like that, whatever. They might do it too. And then that's even worse because then it's like, damn, he's you don't even you did what this you picked the safe option, the man that you could get. You didn't have to change your behavior to get this man, and he allows you to do whatever you want, be yourself. If you don't try to change you and make you, he allows you to just walk all over or whatever. He's a simp. How men would consider him a simp, and then that nigga cheated on you too. That's worse than because you ain't really you was kind of in your mind you was settling. Maybe that's all you could get, but it's settling to you because that's not the top tier. That's not
So who
the
would
main
you rather
person
get
that you're
cheated
looking
on by?
for. So you
If
wouldn't
that's
want
the
to get
case.
cheated on, but I feel like it's gonna happen. It could happen. So you might as well if you want to get it from a person that or let that be with the person that you really want and not just somebody that you're getting with. Like I feel like when women be like, for example, they'll be
So
like,
get
I
cheated
want
on
a
by the one that
medium,
you really
I want a medium ugly dude. Like I've heard women say that. But the only reason why they say that is because they think if they get with a dude that they don't find
you're not gonna have a
attractive,
lot of options.
yeah, but
Well,
he could still
that
cheat.
is true.
But he still unattractive men have still cheated, and that's what I'm
Yeah, they
saying. That
have
make you,
options, but their options are limited,
but
so they
but
won't
it's
cheat
still
as much.
yeah, but
See,
it's still different. You
here's the
don't
thing.
want
Here's
to get cheated on at all.
the problem with that. The problem with you there's problems everywhere. There's the problem with okay, well, I'm just gonna get the lesser of the two evils. Like at least, well, if he gonna cheat, at least he look better than this guy, and he gonna cheat. Or if he gonna cheat, at least he got a job. Or if he gonna cheat, um,
He's the guy that you
you know,
want,
he's the
not
guy
the
that I
guy that
actually
everybody
want to
else
be with.
says you
Right,
should
right.
be with.
What the problem with all of those things is what you just have to understand is that the opportunity, whether the opportunity is large or the opportunity is small, you still have to look for certain characteristics. Cheating shouldn't be the end all be all because that's just something that somebody did. It could be however you look at it. But the person when they do it, they look at it as a mistake if they really care about the person that they with. They don't look at it as like, oh, this was intentional to hurt the person that I'm with. I'm talking about men. A lot of times it's not a spiteful situation. A lot of times it's just because it was in the moment. It's not really much pressure. But we put a lot of stuff on it where we like, oh well, if he cheated on me, why he just leave me? Or if he cheated on me, why he don't really care about me like that? Or if he cheated on me, he just loyal. Or if he cheated on me, he'll do worse because he cheated on me. Like they're thinking from their lens because they wouldn't cheat on them for all of those reasons. Like, there's no reason for me to cheat on you because I want you. There's no reason for me to cheat on you because I wouldn't do anything to hurt you. There's no reason for me to cheat on you because I'm not mad at you and I'm just doing this to get back at you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're just trying to find a reason why he would do this if he claims he loves you. And the thing about it is, a dude's love is not attached to his dick. I know that probably don't make no sense, but it's not. You know what I mean? It's just not. Meaning, I'm fucking you with my penis, not with my heart. I'm not, I don't really care, but there's things that you can do or things that make you you that make me care. So because you cook for me and I didn't ask you to cook for me, that makes me care. Because you just climbed on top of me and just gave me top, that makes me care. Because um you always find it convenient to pull up on me and in a late time and remind me that you know you need it. You know what I mean? Whatever. Like, every time that you reach out and make it known that you actually care about me, it makes me want you. I see how interested you are in me and how invested you are in me. You don't have to invest in me with money. You don't even have to invest in me with specs, but you're investing in me with your time and your effort and appreciation for me. And that's great. Those things, because I already think you look good. I already like being around you enough to want to be around you. If you continue doing these things and continue to make me comfortable being around you, then I'm gonna want to shower you with things. I'm not gonna be a simp about it because I'm not putting you on a pedestal. You earned everything that you did at this point, and I didn't make it a contest for you. You just decided you was gonna do everything that you needed to do because you wanted to show me that I should be with you above anybody else. It's not an ego thing where, well, if I gotta make him like me, then he don't really like me. We already like each other, but you're showing me why I shouldn't want to be with nobody else. And I can identify that, like, oh shit, like she do all of this, but it's something that you don't talk about. It's something that you just do. That's the competition that they be talking about with the red pill. They be like, yo, you gotta compete. Like, the only competition that they really talking about is that you're trying to do what you know you did to get him in the first place, and you're continuing to do that, so nobody else can just out of nowhere come out of nowhere and be like, here, try this plate, and you gotta be like, Shorty make food better than this. Like, you know what I mean? You're not gonna be taking middles from him because she gonna be like, who made that? You know what I mean? Like, I could make that. Like, you know what I mean? Whatever. Like, I could make that. Like,
There's this guy that be cooking on on Instagram. He's a content creator, and he always says that before he starts. He be like, "Sure, we can make that." Like, he do a weird voice, and he said it. You just reminds me when he said that.
yeah, but what you think about that?
Well, that's my point. They're gonna cheat regardless. What you say, you just summed it up. Because I know sex is just sex to men. I don't think that it's tied to their emotions. For most men, anyway. Some men are different, but for the majority, that's my point. Women leave a relationship because of the only part that I disagree with. I mean, I don't, obviously cheating is not a you should, and it's because you're being dishonest. It's the deceit because you're hiding it, and when there are women, like whether men want to believe or not, it may not be a lot of women, but I think women accept it, but they act like they don't, because like women get cheated on and then they still will stay with it. They don't. There are women they only left because they started doing other things wrong, aside from just cheating, then that's when it became a bigger issue. Like, yeah, they might have got upset and had an argument or something when they found out, but they didn't made them sleep on the couch for a few nights, but they didn't stop dealing with it. So women are accepting it anyway. They just make a fuss about it, or they go through your phone and then do all that. And then it's like, what you going through his phone for if you're not gonna if you ain't gonna break up with him? Because what is the like? You need to have a plan, and I'm not saying that that's what you should do, like that you should break up because you find it, but you need to have a plan. Otherwise, what is the purpose of you looking through his phone? You're gonna get yourself upset, have an argument back and forth, and then you still staying there. So you might as well have not even looked at the phone. And then it's like you could see messages in there from a female, and it may not even be what you think. It could be a relative or somebody you don't know. You sitting there looking until you see him texting a female, and then or whatever, and then now you're. But it's like don't nobody got. I don't got time for this. I'm not looking through the phone, not stressing myself out for what. If I'm like, it doesn't make sense. Like
I could say two things that normally fuck it up. If you got with a guy that you think, all right, so let's put it like this. I don't know what women are generally looking for, but let's just say, let's give you a guy, right?
what I'm looking for in me, the main
But
thing is
whatever.
masculinity. Like I
Right,
want
right,
to
right.
be
But what I'm saying is because I just want to paint this idea with that because everybody's gonna have something different. So you don't got to tell me what those points are, but let's just say you have your guy, right? He checks all the boxes. The guy that checks all the boxes, when he cheats, and you got the guy that checks all the boxes, you shouldn't just give him up if he cheated. Because 9 times out of 10, if he checked all the boxes for you, that's the same behavior that he could give anybody else. And if he is giving somebody else that behavior, then they may be more peaceful with the situation. They may be accepting that, yo, he's one of one. You know what I mean? There's less of men than there are women, et cetera, et cetera. So maybe I shouldn't pass this guy up, but I'm not going to tolerate disrespect. We go back to that. Now, him cheating on you, that's disrespect because you got to confront him and, see how you deal with that shit. Now, if he just dismisses it, like whatever, then I would say you could deal with that however you're gonna deal with that. But I'm gonna honestly say if somebody is cheating on you, you find out and they just dismiss it, they don't care. They really just don't care. So I think when they're keeping it hidden, they don't want you to know about it. But when they tell you about it, it seems like you're being respectful. But more so, it's like, well, you already know I'm doing all of this. I'm doing whatever. They throw those things out there. If you feel comfortable enough and you already know, it's probably best to just not ask about it. But if you want to ask about it, just expect that it's either going to go one way or another. Either he's going to come with a stream, I'm cutting everybody off right now. You know what I mean? But he's been doing it for however long he's been doing it. If he ain't trying to stop himself. So if he did try to stop himself already, he does really care about you. If it's something that happened like months ago and you was searching and found something months ago, a conversation or something like that, he probably did try to cut it off because he felt like it wasn't right, it wasn't fair to you or some shit like that. But then you broke up with him. You took everything. You took the dog. You took the house, the kids, everything. You know what I mean? You left in the car that don't work. Now he go back to whatever situation and they cool. You know what I mean? Like he gotta stay with her. She just happy to have a man in the house and that's the way it is. But that's I mean, the side joint situation is really just understand no matter what type of guy you got, the only reason that she's really there is because something first of all, sexually is probably hard to satisfy a man in his prime that wants it all the time. But I'm just saying you have to consider that. But even still, if you're doing everything what a man considers everything, not a woman considers to be everything. But if you're doing everything for that guy, that particular dude, the 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 chances of him being out there all the time is very slim because he's not gonna really. It's hard for him to find a woman that's gonna do everything unless they foreign or something like that. He wants you, but he wants you to conform, and sometimes that's really hard for women to do that. And if I got options, like, well, go be with her, like you gotta just understand. She knows how much of a headache every woman is, so she gonna act right for a little bit. So I probably could do that. But the reason I'm not doing it is because I actually care about the person. You know what I mean? If I care about you, I'm not gonna just step out, you know what I mean, and go do whatever. But it had to be understood that, you know what I mean, men that have a little option, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna exercise it. It just means that you need to respect that you're not the only one, you know, for this guy, and that if you don't treat him right, he may divest. And you can divest, you can say you don't care or whatever, but we both have to care. Like he gotta care, and that's why he's staying here. And you gotta care because you don't want him to leave. And I read my point.
So that's what I'm saying. If you had a conversation in the beginning and people are upfront, dudes be lying. That's part of the problem. In the beginning, they make it seem like, oh, I'm not only talking to you. I'm not. Just be honest. 90% of men, they they want the ability to be able to sleep with other women, but be in a be
So
just have one. Let me finish. I didn't say nothing while you was talking. They want the ability to be able to sleep with multiple women, but have one woman that they're actually, this is my main woman. But they don't say that when they approach women or when they're talking to a woman and getting to know them. They don't make that clear. A small percent of men actually admit that this is what I want. I'm not going to be in no traditional relationship. That's something that you have to accept. If you're looking for me to just be with you, and that looks different for everybody. That doesn't mean that every single day he's going out and sleeping with another woman. It just means it may happen. Like if I see someone that I'm attracted to, I might go try to get her number, and I might, and doesn't mean that. And but if you talked about this already in the beginning, then it's not cheating. The cheating is because you never discussed that this is the type of man that you are. You're trying to go against what you're natural. And if you're a certain type of man, if you check all the boxes that women look for or that they be saying on social media, on YouTube space, 6'6", 6 feet 6 inches, and 6 figures, uh, or whatever, or at least two of the three, or whatever, then your other women are going to want you because you have things that. And then if you have charisma, and if you actually connect with a person, like it's hard to find that where you actually have similar interests and stuff like that. Most people don't be trying to find that. They just meet someone and they find them physically attractive, and they go from there. They ignore if it's like, okay, this probably is not going to work because we have too many things where it's like we're button heads. So it's going to be too many reasons for us to argue. And that may be a red flag because you want someone that's more. I mean, some people, they say opposites attract, so sometimes it could work, but it depends. If they're important things like your beliefs, if you're religious and the other person is an atheist and you want your kids to grow up in church and stuff, things like that, that's something that could break the family. If you want children and the other person doesn't, I don't think you should force nobody to have a child. And just like, and if you don't respect that a man doesn't want just one woman, that's gonna want other women, you kind of forcing him to go outside of his nature. Like biologically, that's what they're supposed to do. And I feel like it will be worse off for you. Like I've only been in like two or three real committed they were my, we claimed each other. That was my man, whatever. And they cheated. One time I did one time. I was younger or whatever. But the other times they did it to me. Well, actually, one time they died. Rest in peace. They got shot, so they didn't get a chance to cheat or whatever. You try it. I don't know. Go ahead. They the same, ain't they? That one. So, and I stopped dealing with men because they didn't they because they were and they liked other women. They didn't want to just be with one woman, or they might have wanted a relationship like this is my woman, but they want to have the option to be able to sleep with other women and not have to hear about it or be nagged about it or whatever. And I realized that those were the men that I were the times, or even if I was dating someone, they're like, oh, well, I guess we weren't dating because or they would say, I'm not looking for a relationship right now. And but we was spending a lot of time doing things that you do in a relationship, going out on dates if you want to call it that. But if they weren't looking for a relationship, is it a date? Because dating means that there's an intention behind it. It's supposed to be going somewhere. But if you're just, you said that's not what you're looking for, and then I would get upset because they did tell me that. And then I was aware that there were times when there was other women because they wasn't trying to settle down at the moment, if ever, or whatever. But those were the when I stopped dealing with them, it's like, damn, nobody is like, they checked all the boxes. So it's like, and then the ones that's like that may not do that or is less likely to do that. I don't really. They're not someone that I'm. It may not just be. It may be that they're less attractive, but that may not be it. It may be like they're not masculine, and like they're missing something, and the other people or the other person had all of those things, but the only thing was they were in. They wanted to have more than one woman, or what, not necessarily one woman, but they were interested in, yeah. So but I feel like I suffer more by walking away from certain situations because like I have memories with like where I had good, like I feel like nobody else, or not nobody, there was more than one instance or whatever, but like they were someone that I could see myself with. Like they had everything. They were masculine. They they were attractive enough. They wasn't. I don't want. You don't have to be Omari Hardwick, but you need to be, because I don't think I'm all that or whatever. I'm not delusional, but you need to be attractive enough for me to want to look at you, for me to want to be intimate with you. I don't think that's too much to ask. I don't think I look like Quasimodo or anything. I know I need to drop a couple pounds or whatever, but I think that, and I don't approach men. The men that have approached me, look, I mean, obviously, yeah, they're having guys that were like that wasn't so up to par. But so what I said, I'm saying that to say, like, it's hurting you more as a woman, trying to, this is my message to the women, trying to stop him from doing stuff, and I'll be like, oh, I don't want you coming in at this time, or you can't go out to the club if that's something that they like to do, or whatever, trying to put restrictions and do all this stuff, thinking that you're gonna stop them from sleep. If they want to sleep with another woman, they're gonna do it whether they tell you or not. And majority of women are sharing men, whether they know it or not. Anyway, dudes is cheating on their wives. Dudes is cheating on their girlfriends. Girls are dating the same guy. They're going talking to multiple women, and some women know it and act like they don't, and just act like they don't know it, or be like they're oblivious to it. But they know, they just lying to themselves because of what I just said. this man has everything else that you're looking for. And then you got another group of women that are gold diggers, so they don't care what you do regardless, because you making a certain amount of money, so that's what they with you for. I don't fall into that group. I have to actually be attracted to you. I don't care how much money you make if I'm not interested. So I wouldn't be, and not just your looks. That is a component, but like I say, you have to be masculine. You have to be respectful. You have to be make me laugh. You have to be charismatic. You you have to have, we have to have common interests like life goals and things like that, or our outlook on life, so we can have things to discuss. Like we don't have to talk all the time, but I want to be able to conversate with you and feel like you get me, and I understand, I would like to have similar views and beliefs, and everybody's not gonna have that or whatever. So when you find somebody that meets the majority of the things, I think it will behoove you to try to keep that person around, because you're gonna keep trying looking for that person. You're gonna be breaking up with every other guy unless you end up with a guy that you probably really don't want. And I think a lot of women do that too. They want a relationship so bad, so they get with any guy that will. And it's not necessarily a bad guy, but they might be a good dude, like they're not a criminal, and they go to work, and they're a good father and all of that on paper. But outside of that, personality wise, masculinity, all of that, is he gonna protect you if somebody break in the house? Or do you feel that, like, is he, like, things like that's like the most important thing to me, is like masculinity. Like I want a man to be dominant, and that's what I've come across. And like that's the reason that's stopping me from, like, and this is what I mean. The guys that they were hoes, or they wanted to be sleep with other women or whatever, but they were masculine and they had all the other things. Then the guys that be trying to talk to me that may not do that, but they probably will too if they have the opportunity. But you think that they won't, and then it's like you just, like, I don't respect you, because, and not that I'm going to disrespect you, but the level of respect I have for you is so low because of the things that you do or how you behave, and certain things about you. Like I don't respect you as a man. I can't be with someone that I don't respect as a man, and that's the energy that you come with, is a presence that you can't. It's just, they don't even have to talk. Like when, as soon as they walk in a room, it's just like you just feel that, like you confident, you him, like you're not, like you have to have that. And you, like I said, I need to feel protected, I need to feel safe, like that you're gonna have my back, and things like that. That's important to me. And you need to be a leader. I want my man, or a man that I'm dealing with or dating, to be dominant. Like I want you to be concise and know what you want, and you don't have to act like I want, like you would, like, call me and be like, get dressed. We about to go out to eat, and at 9 o'clock. So get throw on something sexy or something. Well, I don't know, a little black, whatever. Like just, and I'm not gonna, like, or tell me, like, what is this that you got on? Like, why is you need to cover up? This is you, like, I want you to say that, and I don't care. Women be, and that's another thing. This is the problem too. Y'all need to stop um trying to fight everything. Like I don't know why it's so, like, it's like women don't want to be women. Like they want to be men, or they want to do everything by themselves. Every time a man tells them to do something, they always giving pushback, or always gotta be an argument about it. Like if you already in a relationship, why you walk around with half naked? And if your man wants you to cover up, he didn't say dress like a nun, but do you have to have your cheeks out? Do you have, like, if if he wants you to be covered up and you already in a relationship, you got the person that you want. Why are you? fighting about that. Change your clothes. Like, what's the problem? Why you even dressing like that? And you got a man. But then if you met her and she was already doing that, then like I like stuff like that. If a guy, like I want a man that's dominant. That's gonna tell me what to do, not go upside my, because people think like, oh, you're gonna go hide in the corner and you're gonna, no, I don't mean that. I mean that I respect him enough. If he tell me something, I'm not even about to. I'm gonna just be like, okay, I don't even want, like, I already, cause you you know what's best. Like I trust your judgment that much. I respect your judgment. That unless you tell me to do some crazy junk, like then that's outside of my morals or whatever, that I'm not. And people have different relationships with that too. If y'all both agree on it, like on the Diddy type of stuff or whatever, that's your, if you agree to it. But but yeah, so like, and some people like kinks and stuff like that, whatever. Like that's why I said societal norm. Like, do what's best for you, the type of relationship that you want. Fuck what everybody else think. If he's not abusive to you and you're happy there, you're adding to each other's happiness, it shouldn't matter what nobody else thinks. And people put other people in their relationships too much and take other people's opinion. They go talk to somebody else about their relationship before they discuss it with the person they're in the relationship with, and it doesn't make no sense. And then sometimes, most times, people give bad advice when they be talking to people and telling us the stuff. I don't like, and it may not be intentional. They may think they're telling them what's best, but it's like that's what's best for you because that's how you feel. You're not in this relationship with me, and you can take that into account, but you also need to think about what you want, and if and how is that going to affect you. If you leave this person, is this what you really want? How is your life going to go from then on? If you have children, you're breaking up the family and stuff. Like, there is things that you need to take into account before you're just like, girl, you better leave him, because that's the first thing that people say every time. Nobody want to try and work stuff out or whatever. And like, I'm not saying a dude should be coming home bringing another child or like giving you STDs. Obviously, that's not something that I don't. I'm not in support of that. But like, I just think you beating a dead horse. If you, I think the alternative is that most likely. Now it depends on the woman too. If you're like a top, men care more about looks than anything else. So if you're like a Bernice Burgos or something like that, but even there's a timeline on it, because when you start getting older and stuff, and now you a single mom, and then there are other factors. A lot of guys don't be wanting to date a woman with kids, but they give you a little more leeway when you look a certain way. So if you're like a 10, like you're in, then at least that's gonna get you in the door. So you might, I don't know how long gonna tolerate you if you got a effed up personality and you don't listen and you walk around naked, and do half naked or whatever, and do other things, or the other stuff that you don't, but you look good. It may not last long, but some dudes be putting up with that just because you look good. So if you like a 10 or something, then you have a higher likelihood of like you could do whatever you want, and you probably might still get the guy. You might get him, but he might not stay depending on your behavior. But you at least it'll get you in the door. Now if you like average or less, or if you just look crazy or whatever, then you're probably not going to, you don't have your pick of the litter. So by you taking, checking all these, having all these extra extreme standards. I'm not saying cheating is an extreme standard, but not even just that. It'd be like, oh, he gotta make a certain amount, he gotta dress a certain way, he gotta, and it's like, what, you gotta take into account how you look, and then and or who you are as a woman, not even just how you look. All of that. Is this the man that you saying that you want to have all this 6 foot, 6 figures, 6 inches, all of that stuff? Do you qualify for him? Do you have all the things that he's looking for you to have that man? And if you do, are you, and if you don't, are you willing to acquiesce and become that to do? And a lot of women are not. And I think a woman that's less attractive just because of how men are, you should be more malleable. I'm not saying tolerate disrespect, but you shouldn't be, because it's like you already, either you look crazy or you just regular, and there's like they's giving you a chance and you might already be out of your league. So you should recognize that. I think people are delusional. I think men are too. Some men think that, but women look for different things in relationship than men do. But there do be some men that be like, but I think that's the thing, people don't recognize where they are in the dating marketplace, like where they stand and what they like. And you listen to these podcasts, and then you see a bunch of women up there and they ask them to rate themselves. And I don't think looks are everything, but I know this is how men think, or this is what they say all the time, or whatever. And then all the women, the whole panel, and all of them are not 10. Sometimes none of them are 10. And then they go around a circle and they ask them, and they be like, they are 10. Like, I remember it was this man up there, like what you call a Bruce Jenner type of man, or whatever. If you know, you know, because we can't say those words. I don't know. A Bruce Jenner type of man. And then they got to him, and then they were like, "What do you rate yourself?" And he was like 300 something pounds too, and he was like a fat effing 10 or whatever. So you mad big, and you still think like, and you a Bruce Jenner type of man, and this is like, come on. It's just like, I don't know. Most people are average. Like, most people are average. There are exceptional looking people when it comes to, most people are average earners too. Like, that's just what it is. Everybody's not, there's a small percent of people that check off all the boxes as far as looks, income, and have all the other stuff that you look like. That's not, it's a needle in a haystack. So we talking about majority. So I think more people need to recognize that, and then and focus more on the important things in the relationship. Like, is this like, because they want a woman that's attractive or whatever. I think it is something that people should. I get it though. You want to be attracted to the person, but I think it's something that men should give a little more wiggle room, because if you are thinking about settling down, and then you're just going off of, oh, she looks good, but you're not considering, is she going to be a good mom? Is she nurturing? Does she know how to cook? Does she know how to do hair? If you got, I mean, you could learn how to do that, but I'm just saying, is that something that she's willing to learn if she doesn't know how? And it doesn't even have to be a chef, like a basic meal, like, or whatever. But like, and a lot of women can't, or they don't want to, or they be like, I'm not doing that. He's not my man. He's
The
not my
problem
husband.
is
And it's like,
the problem is many men are already conforming to that. They've already accepted that a lot of these women can't cook or whatever. Now what? So you already have a society of men that have already said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna just accept what it is for what it is." And because you have that group already of men that have already decided, I'm going to accept this minimum, women are not going to change. So it's like, so what do you do with the men that have already accepted this behavior? Throw them out, throw them in the trash.
then that's easier, because the women that don't want to cook, they get the food.
Sometimes it's not
If they
bad though.
accept
Like
it,
if the woman can't cook because she's tired, or if she just can't cook, period, and she's
that's
not
fine too.
trying to compromise to learn how to cook, because you're a guy that say that there's a lot of men out here that want a home cooked meal, and she's not willing to try to give me a home cooked meal, that can be a problem. So to that point, yeah, if she's not willing to at least try, but men have been dealing with women that can't cook, but they at least would attempt to do it. Now,
That's what I'm saying.
if you
You need to be more malleable.
don't want to do it at all, which is what society is right now. They just don't want to do it at all. Not even can they cook. They probably could feed themselves, but they like you not your hands not broken, stuff like that. You're gonna have to do it yourself because this modern era is basically it doesn't really it's not traditional mindset women who were more dutiful. I'm sure they didn't want to do a lot of stuff and they complained about it, but they did it despite that because it was bigger than them. The mission is like, okay, you got a man that loves you, he cares about you, worship the ground you walk on, willing to risk his life and his personal security for yours. You don't get a lot of people that are willing to make that sacrifice. When you get somebody that is willing to make that sacrifice, you might as well just, you know, just take certain things that might come with that, as long as it's not something that's detrimental to your health. You know what I mean? Mental or physical. But this Tigger business, this kind of like really touches on this relationship topic that we're talking about. So I have the video. I think that there's a lot. There was a lot being discussed in this video. My fault, yeah, my fault. All right, so I will share my screen. I don't know how to use that software. So basically, there's a video recently released of Big Tigger allegedly attacking his baby mother. Sounds crazy. It looks crazy. Can't really see. Oh, I can see. I just know that. Yo, so it really looked crazy. It looked like you could see him slamming her into
No,
into the joint, but it was
they
like a tussle like type.
they played it on Trade the Truth Teller, and they would talk about it, and it was like he didn't. She kicked the door with her foot, so it made that sound, and then um he was holding on because she took his phone, from him, and he was trying to get his phone back, and that's what happened. She made her own self fall and did that. Even the way she screamed out, it sounded exaggerated. Like you just, it didn't sound like
you
a.
think she doctored the whole
I
situation?
don't think she doctored it, but they kept playing the video over and over. She made herself. I'm saying when it happened, but her movements. First of all, she took his phone. That's again. First of all, in case you don't know that, that's assault. If you snatch somebody's phone from them, that's actually assault. So I just want to address that. But she tried to grab his phone, which you shouldn't have did. I just got finished saying that. Stop looking through people's phones. And you shouldn't have took it out of his hand. Well, if you're going to do that, which I don't condone, at least wait till he goes to sleep, so there's not a altercation or whatever. But again, I'm not telling you to do that. So this is how it started. She took the phone out of his hand. He tried to get it back, and then there was a tussle. He grabbed her, and then she kicked the door with her foot, and the way how she moved trying to get away from him, she made her own self do that. He didn't do that. Like it's because of the struggle or whatever happened. But if she never tried to take his phone, it wouldn't happen to begin with. And there was a previous incident where she put her hands on him, which is probably why he grabbed her too, because he knew she was going to try to attack him. They mentioned that there was another time when she put her hands on him. That's on record, I believe.
So how do you feel about it, knowing what you know and seeing what you've seen? Um, you just feel like she shouldn't have tried to go for his phone and this would have never happened? Or do you feel like he should have practiced more restraint? You feel like both? Or do you feel
Yeah,
like
basically because
shit, it just he's an aggressive dude?
it's a toxic relationship. I think that they if they are still together, I don't know if I know that's his big mom. I don't know if they're in a relationship, but it's toxic if it is. I think they need to stay away from each other and just come together in regards to the child. And I think that yes, she brought that on herself. Now I don't condone DV. I'm not saying that a man should beat up a woman, but that's not what happened. Though. It was like it's not like he just clocked her, and that's not what happened. It was a struggle, and it was an accident, and it started because of she took his phone from him or whatever. And I was watching a panel, and there was a couple guys up there was like F that phone. I don't care about that, but because they know this is what happens, even though he didn't really do anything. He was trying to get his phone back, and that's just what happened. It was a mistake. It wasn't like he just beat her to a pulp. That's not what happened, and that's a difference. If you're an abusive man and this is what you do, and they're knocking your head between the washing machine and dryer, that's not how this scenario went. Um, and there are men that saying like, because I know how this can turn out if it is a DV situation and the cops get called, I'm the first person that they're going to be looking at or whatever because I'm the man. So if she would have took my phone, I'd be like, I could get another phone. It's not that big of a deal. Blah blah blah. And
Some
but then
people
the
have
other
really
guys gave pushback.
sensitive things in
Yeah.
their devices. So
But then the other
it could be it's one of those situations where it may be more important to them than it might be to you. I mean, to you, it might be just it's just another device, not that important. But to them, it might mean they have to start a lot of things over. It could be 300 songs that you created. Now you got to recreate them all over again and lose some of your morale from creating music. You know what I mean? It's a lot of different things when they do it. Or be calling girls and messing up other situations, calling all the numbers in my phone. It is a big deal.
and not knowing who it is.
Right.
Yeah, I'm
It is a
saying
big deal.
I'm just giving you the response to some. Like there was a couple guys that said that, and then Trey was like, I had to physically remove somebody from my house before, and I don't because they was wilding, they started doing this or that or whatever, and I was like, you need to go, and then they wouldn't leave, so I did do that. I do. If you doing something, if you try to take my phone, I'm gonna get my phone back. Like I'm not. I didn't say I'm gonna beat you up, but I'm gonna get my phone back. Because why are you trying to take my phone? I'm not about to. That's what most of them. There were like two guys up there that said F the phone. I could get another phone. I could get all my information on my contact, just log into my email and do whatever. But I don't think that you should have to.
Now, could you just clarify? Taking somebody's phone is only assault if it's on their person, right?
Yeah, if you take it
It's
from
not
them.
assault if you take it off the table. That's like stealing. That's just
Yeah,
stealing.
if you take it from them, that's what I said. Like from literally out their hand,
out their
or
hand
something.
or out their pocket.
Yeah. But yeah, so because you're creating a physical that's you take you going in somebody's, you take it in front of here, you initiating conflict, physical conflict, because you don't know how they're gonna react to that. So
Right.
that could be but yeah, I think that men I mean should have, I don't want to say passive to restraint because it's not like he hit her. He was just trying to get his phone back, and then that's what ended up happening. Um, and now she looked like that. So next time, don't try to get. And then the women, this lady was mad. I was on the piano that I was watching when they were talking about that. She was like, "So you saying that he should have, that because she took his phone, she deserved to get busted upside the head or whatever?" And then it was like he didn't bust her upside
They
the head.
always gotta be extreme. Like it's not right for him to put his hands on her at all. Like nobody's saying that. But then you can't you can't say it's right to take something from somebody that don't belong to you. Like and then the reaction to it, however that reaction is. Now you also gotta think about it. Is it a history of violence in this relationship? If it is, then you handle it a little bit differently. You look at the situation a little bit differently. But I'm just saying, I don't know if he's this extra nice guy on that video. He was just aggressive to try to get his device. He wasn't like trying to slam her type. He was trying to get his device out her hand. And it became a whole thing because she's strong. You know what I mean? So he like tried to get his device back and she tussling and then she fell or whatever. So it's one of those situations where it's just good to not be in a relationship like that to avoid that at all costs. Can I say that he's wrong in this situation? I could say there's some accountability that he has to take in that situation. When it comes to the device, now it's at the point where you got something incriminated in your phone. Probably you don't want her to see, but that's your business. Whatever, I get it. Let her go through it, and then just let her give you your phone back. Take the L. But then if you're gonna try to fight to get it back, you making it seem like it's really like signing your phone. Like she can't get in your phone without your face. She can't get in your phone without your code or something like that. It don't even matter. But like if she go on your phone, let her go on your phone, whatever. But I would say have a consequence with that. Like if you go on my phone, be done. Like that'll be the consequence. That'll be the end all be all. Go on my phone and we break up. Or go on my phone for what? If I let you go on my phone or I say we can play a game on my phone or something like that, like a kid, then that's cool if that's the relationship that we got. It's really like it should be you don't got nothing to hide. It should be like that. But why are you going through people's phone? What are you looking for?
That's what I said. Because if you ain't gonna do anything about it, then it doesn't make sense for you to it doesn't make sense to
I mean, if life is good, don't do that. Don't sabotage your relationship. Like I would say, you know, like in that situation, I don't know how it led up to that. Um, I don't agree with any DV whatsoever. Feel me? Like I don't think it's cool on either side. Man against woman or woman against men. I just don't agree with it. But what I don't agree with is the unfairness. like it should be on equal sides how we deal with it. You shouldn't be like because the guy automatically guilty off the rip. You don't even question it. You just like, yo, he guilty. He did what he did. Like, for me. So for that, that's why I'm like, I'm just looking at the video and I'm already making my, assessment of it or how I feel about it, just based off the video itself. Like the video just showed me like, he didn't really handle her because he could have just like, if he's strong, you know what I mean? But she seemed like she could hold her own. And so it's like, I don't know. And Big Tigger not really big. That's just his name, like Big Sean. It's like that. Lil Wayne. Oh, yeah, Lil Wayne.
You little way.
Right? The both one is my cousin is the lead before. A Texas neighborhood confrontation after a young boy allegedly approached the neighbor's home with a whip, looking for their daughter, leading to a chain of events that ended with an arrest. You wanna?
You got the clip? I sent it.
It's in the group.
So yeah, a little palm colored boy comes pounding on some a black family's door, and he has a whip in his hand, and he's a 9-year-old. He's looking for the family's daughter when he comes.
Little boy, you better get your ass from off my porch beating on my door like this. I call the police. You need to leave.
She talking to him through the ring camera. The mom is like spazzing on him.
9-year-old white boy in Texas threatened his black neighbor with a whip on Thursday afternoon. When Karisha Nash was at home, the neighbor's boy angrily rushed to her doorstep and whipped the door. When I look on the doorbell camera, I can see, he actually has a whip. Kalisa opened the door and confronted the boy, saying that the boy was planning to attack her daughter because he was dissatisfied with her. I will call the police. You need to leave. Don't you ever be on my goddamn door like that. Go. Kalisa is not sure about the specific reason why the boy came to find her daughter, but she claimed that after the boy was scolded and left, he scratched her car with a whip.
Oh, hell no. Feel it or buff away.
After learning of the situation, the girl's father, Nash, went to confront the boy's father, Brian Thomas.
As soon as he opens the door, I see that he has a weapon behind his back and he's leaning up against the doorway.
Nash tried to explain the situation to Brian.
Yeah. So that's what happened. The lady, the little boy came to the little girl house.
Parents.
Her parents spoke. Her mom spoke through the ring camera. Was like, little boy, you better get your A. Like,
There's another part of the story that we left off.
Which is
parents of the boy or the young man. His parents.
What about him?
You didn't read the rest of it when the dad confronted.
It said it in a video. The guy said that.
The dad confronted the other dad.
The father said it himself. He said, when I went over there to talk to him, he pulled out a gun. It said that in the clip. He did.
You just said that?
Yeah. Because the black parents were talking. And then they got a crazy looking photo of the white boys. And I can't believe that the article, like, that's just so uncouth. Like, a 9-year-old white boy went to, like, what?
Like, right? They say it like that.
But I don't know. I don't think
Instagram stories, like, do they be real? Like I don't know. Sometimes I ain't fact check that one, but that story is a little.
That's a news thing.
Okay, so That's still
But
a
that
little
don't mean nothing
extreme
either, because they be lying on the news too.
because the
Propaganda.
news, the person when they said it, it sounded a little robotic. But then I'm like, all right, if they did say something like that, because that was a little extra. Like if you say that on actual news, not on Comedy Central, like on regular news, that would a lot of people would be on that. Like, what the hell? You
This
just said
happened
that?
in 2022, and it was in Texas.
So that's crazy.
It was May 16, 2022. I don't know why. I always be getting this old stuff popping up on my timeline, but yes, it happened in Texas, in Forney, Texas.
For you know they be hanging people up over there. Don't cancel me. But yeah, that's crazy. Like
It
I
don't
blame
matter
the
where you
parents
is
for real.
now.
I blame the parents. I blame the parents. People gonna, a lot of situations I blame the parents.
I'm at a loss for words. I don't understand where you get a whip from in the first place. That's number one. You're 9 years old. What are you doing with a whip? How did you get that? And yes, you had to have acquired that from your parents or something. Um, and then that's racist within itself. Because why you show up to a black girl's house with a whip? Like, what you gonna do? Or you was watching some BDSM porn or something?
Right.
Porn in which you're 9 years old. Again, you shouldn't be watching that. So, because kids do be doing, they be watching stuff on porn, and then there was an episode on Law and Order. This is a little off topic, but kind of about kids watching stuff and then doing it. There was an episode on Law and Order. This little boy, his father would work a lot, so he would be in the house, him and his brother or whatever, and he would be watching porn at home. I don't know what happened to his mom. I don't know if she passed away but for whatever the case, his father was raising him, and he had a little brother. He would be watching corn at home, and he would be watching grape corn or whatever. So, or yeah, like those are the scenarios because they do have a section where it's like they act. There's category where it's like that's the scenario or whatever. So he was watching that, and he started going to school doing that to the kids. There was like three kids, boys and girls, that he was doing this to. A little kid, like he was in elementary school or middle school, was no older than middle school. And so the reason why they found out because one little boy that he did it to, because it was like two boys, I think, and a girl that he did it to. But one boy, like he. And I guess the kids weren't saying any. This is what he said. They weren't saying anything. They did, or they did say. Some of them said stop, but he was like, they said stop in the corn too, or whatever. Like, and he was a kid. He was a little kid. He's taking it like, oh, they did this in the corn, and they told him to stop in the corn, but they still did it. So he's not registering that this is like the difference between this is entertainment and you can't do stuff like that in real life. You need consent. Like you can't be doing that. So anyway, the little boy passed out. One of the because he would go in the bathroom and so like they had a detector or whatever. They had to walk through the detector, and he like was bleeding and he passed out because this had been going on for like weeks or something. And then they brought him to the nurse, and then that's how they found out something happened. Then they ended up figuring out who it was eventually. And it was like he's a little kid. He was in middle school or younger. So it's like, can you really? And it's not the father. For the father was a decent dude. He was trying to work. He wasn't home like that because he was working to take care of them. But then he was like, I ain't. He was trying to disown them. He was like, I'm not. Like Like you can't because he was mad when he found out it was a little boy that he did that to, and that's all he was thinking about. And then the stabler, the detective, he was like, because he was just not about to fuck with him. He was like, not coming, like, nah, my son ain't doing no mess like that, like whatever. But the detective Stabler came to his house and he talked to him. He was like, "That's your son. He needs you. I know it's crazy that he did this, blah blah." Blah. But he talked to him a couple of times, and then he came around and he came to the trial, and they they was like he didn't understand because he thinking it's like corn, like this is okay because you a little kid watching that, you don't understand the consequence of what you're doing. You think it's like you know because you don't have you shouldn't be watching that. So a kid, I said that to say that little boy, what you doing with a whip? You be watching like BDSM or something and torture stuff, and you see to do that, you gotta go try to do that to that little girl. Like what's going on, or what happened before that led up to you coming there with a whip to her door? Like I don't understand. And you thought that was okay too, banging on the door, like who is you? Like pounding on the door, like you crazy. Like I don't know. These people out of control. And you need to put more restrictions on certain content so kids don't have access to it. And I keep saying that I don't know why he did that, and it probably was his parents because where you get a whip from, you had to have money. They had that junk in the house. I know you ain't ordered that yourself, but at 9 years old, they know how to use the computer. Maybe they did. But if you ordered it again, where did you get this idea from? I think that was in his house already. Maybe his parents be doing that. He could have been. You gotta be careful when you in there making love or doing upside down tango or whatever. If you got kids, you need to be quiet or something. Like don't let them see you doing that because they shouldn't be exposed to snacks at such an early age. So I don't know how it happened or what was going on, what he was about to do with that whip. Like I'm that's the question that I have. What was you about to do, and who you think you thought you was knocking on the door like that? Like the little girl lived by herself or something. Like what's wrong with you? Like I have questions, but his father is probably racist.
Mm-hmm.
Because then he put out a gun. But then it said, now we didn't hear the exchange between the fathers. So how did you approach him? Because the mom cursed the little boy out already. I don't think, and I would have addressed that too. She told my boy, you better get your off my like. I don't think that was necessary. You could have just told me to get off the porch. He didn't even say anything. I mean, he came there banging on the door, but it's a little kid. You should have just you could have just told him to leave. Now, if he didn't leave and you had already told him, then you could escalate it and go from there. But initially, when he came, you could have just told him to leave. You didn't have to curse at him and do all that or whatever. So that leads me to believe that's how the mom was. Was she the one who was talking through the camera? But was the father the same way when he went to the boy's father house? Did he go over there being all rowdy and talking crazy? Because then that could be a reason for me to reach for my pistol. Did you come over here and make me feel threatened? Because we didn't hear that part of the conversation. We just heard the black father saying that that's what happened, but he didn't tell us how the entire exchange went and what he said. Because I don't think you should go over there attacking him verbally, you know what I'm saying? Because his kid, you should assume that initially that they had nothing to do with that and the kid just did that alone. Then upon having a conversation, if you find out, okay, this is how these people are, then you could get upset. But the boy is the one who had the issue with initially, unless something else happened prior to this, before y'all had um, a previous um, issues before this happened. But if this is the first encounter, like I hope if you approach them respectfully and then he did that, then it's like, okay, now that's something to question. But if you went over there talking to him like how the wife was talking to the little boy, why are you going over there being all That would, that's you're not gonna solve nothing like that because you two men. Like
That's another parent's situation. Uh, in my opinion, I just think parents was a viral trend from anime conventions that has people debating how far the internet culture has gone. You wanna, you wanna go on that one? Well, that's a monster problem.
feet drink, feet juice. So at an anime convention, they had a bucket that people were soaking their feet in, and they was giving people drinks of it. Like people, they was ladling it into cups, and people was drinking it. So, what do you think about that? Is that something you'd be interested in?
No,
Some people be taking it too far.
I remember there was a story of
Feet juice now.
Instagram
You guys read the
model.
title, you know what you're getting into.
What'd you say?
Well, no, I remember it was an Instagram model who she had her her bath water. And
Yeah.
you remember that story?
Well, I'm saying that's a common thing. If other women have to
She
sold
would
it,
sell her bath water on Instagram,
and they do it
and
on
she had her
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans or whatever.
People do be requesting that. This girl just said that on Instagram. Like, if you want to make
Then they
some
got
money,
crazy.
you don't have to.
Dudes would spend like thousands of dollars for her soiled underwear.
Yep.
But they didn't want her to wash it. Like send it the way it is.
With your pheromones. You know,
Some freaks out here, man.
in African culture, I think it's African culture. They wipe their juices on. They like put it like perfume, like because that is those are pheromones. They have the pheromones, and that is what attracts us to each other. The opposite sexes.
Yo, don't come around me smelling like smacks.
That don't mean you're gonna smell it. That's good. It's not.
Like, it's
It's
like
not.
P-funk,
It's not your senses like that. Like your nose. Like it's just. It's like you just. It's something that comes from you that attracts men and women to each other. Like we both have pheromones.
mating funk.
Yeah, but you don't smell it and be like, this is why it's you don't realize that that's what it is.
Because some of them they got this.
That's only if you're drunk. If it
stinks.
stinks. If it stinks.
So
If it stinks, then no.
They need to not take a bath type shit. Like, I'm not letting them do that to themselves.
No. But yeah, they do that. Or you can have it bottled up and you can like spray it. But everyone doesn't have it. It really shouldn't smell like
It shouldn't stink,
if you are clean.
But sometimes, like, you know, on a hot day, exercise, all that.
Yeah, but I'm talking about fresh out the shower because you should take a shower before. Ideally, I don't. Well, not before. We're not talking about that. We're talking about wiping it on your. I wouldn't do that anyway, but I'm saying that's what people do, and it says that attracts the opposite sex.
But feet juice is different.
Yeah, they were drinking that.
Them motherfuckers crazy. Ain't no electrolytes. Like yo.
That's just a kink. They have like a foot fetish or something.
You gross.
Listen.
Well, I don't I'm not even surprised anymore. And for today's video, I want to try something different. No We Shop channel music. I'm going to run a poll, but let me know in the comments if you guys fucking hate that music and want me to just stop using it, because then that's less work for me anyways. I'm just trying to make the slop go down easier for some of you guys. Translated from Spanish, Fuji News coming to report on this. Cosplayers sell foot juice from their feet. Some cosplayers start in the most surreal moment of a convention in the United States by offering fresh foot juice straight from a cooler. During an unofficial nighttime gathering of the event, the young women dipped their feet in a red liquid and charged up to $15 to attendees who lined up. The otaku free market always finds a new way to cash in. I thought it was two women doing it at the same time. No, it's just one woman dressed as two different anime characters. So we got her as Miku and another as Rapi, I think. I don't know who that character is, but I think it's Rapi. One image of this fine young gentleman getting the runoff of the juice straight from the source, straight from the tap. Then we have another one of her sitting there promoting the juice in the red sauce. This actually isn't that surprising to me. If you guys go to conventions where there's cosplayers, you'll often see a woman walking around with a sign like $5 and I'll step on you. I don't know what it is about anime and anime conventions, but femdom has always been and always will be incredibly present. We can blame Japanese society, Japanese businessmen for this one. So obviously you're going to have the rundown culturally from that is selling fresh feet juice. Like, this was inevitable. We always saw this coming. Jokes aside, though, if you guys have been in the anime fandom for a while, you know that there was like yaoi paddles that they had outlawed because you're basically just running around assaulting people. Again, the stepping on people. There's already an issue of groping. There's the whole cosplay is not consent movement that gets brought up from time to time. What I'm saying is that there's a market for weird ass. Amy is cashing in. Some of these gifts, man. Me flavored water, 15 cents. The Miku feet juice is real. Broken a swig from the cooler.
No, they had a bucket and it had something in it, and it had a nozzle where you can like put a cup or like in the juice would come out.
And it was the girl.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Some people have foot fetish. I think that's what that is.
And if you know a woman, she's really attractive, you might just like certain things about her. That might, if that's all they need, and you actually be in a relationship with them, then that's gonna be crazy.
That's too far.
You really, you know. But then it could be the other way around. They could adore you, and that could be something that simple could add to that. You could be 350 and be with a dude that has that extreme foot fetish and just have perfect feet or a big one.
There was a show that used to come on called My Crazy Ex, and I feel like it was like a spoofer. I didn't really take it serious, but it was hilarious. There were some episodes. There was one guy, this lady was with him. They were in a relationship, and he had a foot fetish, but it was to the point where it's like that's all he cared about. No, that wasn't on My Crazy Ex. That was on Half and Half. That show with the two sisters, where they have different mothers, and with Essence Atkins and Mary Jane from that movie with Dave Chappelle. They were sisters, and Essence Atkins is the one that played in How High, and it was Redman's girlfriend in How High. I think her father was the head of the, I don't know. But anyway, she met a guy and he was really into her. I don't remember which one of them was. Either Mary Jane or one of them was dating this guy. And he was like obsessed with her feet. Like he needed to see them all the time, had to be out. Like, and he would not pay attention. Like he would focus on her feet more than he paid. Like it was just weird. It was like they were like they had their own identity or something. Like he didn't care about nothing else. Like he just wanted to like rub her. Like he would just sit there and look at him or put him on his face or just like he didn't even want to do anything with her. He just wanted her feet. Like he just was like obsessed with her feet. He bought her some shoes so that he got mad because one day she wore some boots. Like to cover up her feet because she seen he was acting so weird, and that's all he would focus on. Like, I love your feet; they're so beautiful, and like he would just talk about it all the time. So one day she wore some boots, and he was like, "Why do you have those on?" Or whatever. And then she was like, "Because I love these boots." We are literally like she made up a story just to like because she was trying to get him to focus on her and not her feet. And he was like, he got mad because she wouldn't take the boots off. Like, and he broke up with her or something. But he just wanted to see her feet. It's like he was dating her feet and not her.
Some dudes will break up with you because your feet busted. You know what I mean? Like it's like feet. Feet is feet was like really like a testament of beauty. Centuries, millennia probably ago. You know what I mean?
No, but that's too much. If you, he's acting like the feet is a person. Like you, like the way he would just focus on her feet. She would be talking. He wouldn't be paying attention to her. He would just be zoned out looking at her feet or say something. Like, and then when she put them boots on and covered up her feet, he was mad because he wanted to see them. Or he would like sit a certain way so like her feet could be in his face. Like every time he's like, wait, but you gotta put like she would be trying to kiss him and he was like like it was just her feet.
Keep
Like,
looking down at her feet.
he wanted to include the feet some way. And like he got off on her feet and not her.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But drinking juice that people so but hey, people drink wine. People be stopping grape to make that. So
Man, I don't think they do that anymore. They still do that. They got shit that they could use now. Like,
they be
why would they
giving
be
us
putting their feet in it?
that ain't
I
food,
know that, but I'm
plastic.
just saying, like, do they really have to do that? Like, or is
They
that
don't have to.
like is that the best flavor from stepping your feet on it?
Yeah. Foot flavor.
All right.
Toe line.
Barefoot bubbly,
Toe line.
right?
Yeah.
That's what they say. That's what it's called, barefoot bubbly.
Nail apple.
I never even realized that until we just started saying this, yo. Barefoot bubbly, really? That's what we've been drinking, and we know that
Barefoot
they make.
I wonder
They
why.
make that shit. Yeah, they make that shit from stepping on that
I
shit.
ain't even think
and now
about
it's
it.
like,
See?
yo, this barefoot. You know it's barefoot. And you drink it.
I don't drink that.
I'll drink it no more.
I have had it before, but that was not the main thing
that was foot juice, I guess.
Like I prefer liquor, not
So we've had foot
wine
juice before to
or
an extent.
champagne or huh?
We've had foot juice to an extent. Yo, it is what it is, ain't it? Like it's like, yo, like if that's what we did and we ain't know, I mean shit, it's not our fault. But knowing that, are people still gonna drink wine and still gonna drink
they
barefoot, Moscato? We've already known that, right?
They drink
some of us already knew that.
death water or whatever the fuck.
That's supposed to be water.
Why would
it's
you
water
want?
in a can.
Why would you want something that's cold?
Because it's water in a can.
No.
It's just like water in a box. Have you ever had that?
No.
I've had water in a box. You can't even see it. The box is completely white. All the letters are black. So it automatically gets your attention. What is this? And it's box water.
I see it on both.
It's box water. I bought it a couple times. and it tastes pretty good. I think it's alkaline.
Yeah, that comes in a bottle too. But they just have it.
But in a box, supposed to be better, like all natural stuff, no chemicals. But that's a lie. It's always chemicals.
It got alkaline. It's alkaline.
Water or chemical? If you want to be technical,
it's the result of two chemicals combined.
H2O, not a chemical.
It's the result of two chemicals combined.
It's on the periodic table.
Not water.
Or hydrogen oxide.
Exactly.
Oxygen.
The result of two
But
chemicals.
It makes a new chemical, which is liquid, or water, which is H2O. Water is a chemical. All right, you know what? I'm not even gonna argue. Let's just act.
That's on the periodic table.
I don't know.
Water is not on the periodic table. Exactly. That's my point.
I'm asking. Okay.
You know the answer. So
no, I don't. Nope. I don't know. I'm being stubborn. Water. What's the word? Okay. Yes, water is a chemical.
Read the whole thing.
That's the first thing. That's the answer. All right, but it says a chemical is any substance with a definite composition and specific properties. Pure water consists of molecules made of two hydrogen atoms bonded to one oxygen atom, giving it the chemical formula H2O. Some people sometimes use the word chemical to mean artificial or harmful, but that's not what it means scientifically. Many everyday substances are chemicals, including water, oxygen, table salt, and sugar. So just so you know, oxygen is a chemical, table salt is a chemical, and sugar is a chemical. Not for you, but for people that might not know, because I know oxygen is, but table salt,
because it's what it's comprised of. Yeah.
NaCl.
Yeah, that's
and
sodium.
Sugar, sucrose, C12.
That's what I'm saying. All of these are they're combined with other
carbon, hydrogen,
with chemicals that are actually on the periodic table, and they create these things. But there's no name for that on the periodic table. Salt is not on the periodic table. Water is not on the periodic table. The two chemicals that come together to create that are on the periodic table. So
we're not going off of what's on the periodic table, though.
But that should be up there then if they're saying that is a chemical.
That's yellow. You're not no scientist, so you gotta go by what it is.
I think all of them should be on the periodic table.
I mean, it is an element. NaCl, motherfucker. Listen, it's telling you what it is on the thing. That's what the periodic shit is. It's NaCl. So it is on the periodic table as that table salt. If we look it up, that's what we gonna see. If we look up the periodic table.
NaCl.
So it is on the periodic table. Huh?
Table salt is not
sodium. Table salt and sugar are both on the periodic table.
I know, but it's salt. The periodic table is what's on the periodic table are two chemicals, that sodium chloride or something, and that's what made salt. That's how they get it.
But it doesn't matter. They're calling it that on the periodic table. It's something that you use you made something, put something together to create it, but they added it to the periodic table. The periodic table was written by scientists. So you think they're gonna come up with some shit and not put it up there? Plastic is made from shit. I bet you that shit is up there. That shit don't just come by itself. It don't rain plastic. That's on the fucking periodic table, probably. I'm saying probably because I don't know. That's just an educated guess. What I'm gonna say is plastic a chemical? Because it is. It's in fucking shit. And that was the reason that I didn't do the fucking the what you call it? The the baby detergent sheets, the baby safe detergent sheets. Because that shit had plastic in it. And they didn't come out with one that didn't have plastic. I'm gonna check again to see if they did. I might still do it. I think I still got all my information in that shit. What was I saying? Is what? Oh, it's plastic. But I know the answer. But I want to know. Yes, plastic is also a chemical, or more precisely, a class of chemical materials. Now, polymers. There you go. That was the thing that I didn't want to have in the detergent, and it had it in it. But polymers create plastic. But this is what I was saying. Even though it's not the same word, it's still what's on the periodic table. We just have another word for it. It's just like a fucking synonym, kind of, in a way. And that's how they make it. They make it layman for people to understand it, and a way for them to understand it in their field. The people that study chemicals and shit, chemists. You know what I mean? But what I'm answering with is not no science though. I'm just going off of, okay, I believe that this is, but okay, it's a 50% chance I could be right about this shit. Only because I'm just using it in a logical way from what I already know, based on what I already know about chemicals. It, you know what I mean? There's certain things that, everything is made of some type of chemical. Even our body. You know what I mean? But we just don't dive deep to know exactly what all those chemicals are. But everything got chemicals in it. You know what I mean? But chemicals are not necessarily good, not necessarily bad for you. It just is. You know what I mean? It's there's harmful chemicals and there's helpful chemicals. You know what I mean? We breathe helpful chemicals. Oxygen, you understand what I'm saying? Like that's really one of the main ones. But we got chemicals in us that if we have too much of it, it can mess up our body. But we have just enough. It's crazy. The science behind our bodies is something that can never be discovered. Not discovered. It can never be understood. So you got faith, and then you got theories from scientists. And still their theories always hit a brick wall because they really can't explain how a person became. Because then that would mean one person made another, and then another, and then another. There had to be something that happened to create mankind or people, humanity. Before we even had all these ideologies about what's what, who's who, who's important, who's not important, how the hell did we get here, right? And that's something that scientists really can't really prove or disprove. And then it goes to the religion. The religion is another, they're also scientists in their own regard, and they really can only explain it through the faith and the belief of what they're reading to be adequate information. So they put everything into that book, and the scientists put everything into their research. But it's more credible for the scientists because they do countless trials and tribulations, you know, trial and error. I'm sorry, countless trial and error to figure out what works, what doesn't work, or whatever. You know what I mean? And they do a good job at it. You know what I mean? These people have years and years of experience. You know, decades, or the new number. Well, not new number, but the number I like to use, quadrennial of experience. You know, that's 4 decades. But in any case, um, it's too deep to really understand all that. The simplest thing is that people on just a basic level, a lot of the things that we do are just survival. And then, we judge people on survival, but then put yourself in certain situations and see how you handle it. Like you might handle it better because you said, "Oh, I'm not going to be like this" or whatever, or you might not be able to handle it better. Don't be drinking foot juice. A mother and her daughter. Well, let's do this one. So shout out to Love, bro. You know what I mean? A popular TikTok creator with no arms or legs gets married, inspiring millions while sparking conversations about love, resilience, and overcoming adversity. What can we take from this? I don't want to spend too much time on it because it's nothing but positive. People want drama. But the good thing about it is that this is not the first situation that's like kind of extreme. There was another one where a woman was disabled. She was in a wheelchair, and the man was having several children. Where he had like 3 children, I guess. Um, and the children are healthy, but it's just like he was like a therapist, and then all of a sudden they start messing around. It was kind of weird. But then this situation too is like, okay, but you don't want to say anything bad about it because you want to be like, true love has no bounds. You want to believe that. But yeah, something I'm gonna say it like I said the last time. Something just don't sit right with you with it. Like you feel like, what I mean? Like
What happened? Somebody's with
no
someone
arms, no
that's child.
legs.
Oh, the lady that walked
Like
around the house.
you getting married to somebody and you got no arms, no legs. It's like you can't. This person is gonna take care of you, like straight up. Like that's just how it is.
Yeah, they be helping. I watched a couple clips. She's a content creator. He be helping her get dressed and helping her do her hair. And so, I mean, you have to. You so it's not like that happened after. I mean, even if it did happen, that's the person is with. But
He
you
met her like
met her
that.
like that.
Yeah.
So
So that's what I'm saying. Man, much love to them, man. I just wanted to bring it up.
he seems a little strange, though. I in the
Right.
clips from that I see, but like I wouldn't be interested in him. So maybe that's what it is. That's he found somebody for him that he probably was having a hard time. I don't know. Well, that doesn't mean because I'm not into. I wouldn't be into him. That doesn't mean everyone would. But I'm sure he could have found somebody that could at least walk.
Right.
But you know, that's who he ended up with. Hopefully, he's not using her. But it looked like he'd be helping out. But she a content creator.
It's like yo, you want to say that somebody really just wanted just found love, but you really look at it and be like, yo, you gave up, bro. You gave up. But much love to them. A mother and a daughter are arrested after police allege they posted videos featuring luxury bags that investigators say were stolen. This is put in the aggro yard bag. That was crazy.
Look at Carisha influencing these people. They ought to be ashamed of
World's
themselves.
dumbest criminal.
Right. First of all, if you scamming, whatever, still that's I don't encourage people
Why
to
you
do
blast
that.
this
But
up? Like,
if that's what you
she ain't
get
wearing
it,
no
if
shiesty.
that's what you want to do, then go ahead. But because you grown, like you make you what is the word? What is the phrase? You you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Right.
So you know you're adults, you old enough to know better. Like, and then you gonna post a TikTok with that song as the background music about scamming and boosting go yard bags and I think they had like designer stuff. And that's why they got. But that's why I don't like that song. But because I feel like I'm sick of everybody singing it. Fabulous, I made a remix, and like I can't. Well, he did a Knicks dedicated to the Knicks. But I don't. I mean, people do what they do, but you just slow because why would you post it? I just like when people be unaliving people and then they post that like you want to go to jail. Like I don't understand.
So I'm not even gonna spend too much time on that. That was just the donkey of the day right there.
Right.
Let's get to the bigger discussion tonight. All the other things was heavy shit, but bigger discussion tonight. I got a couple questions for you. This came up the last time you asked me questions from our GP. I got a few for you. So
what question I asked you?
you asked me questions for the on the podcast last time. You asked me questions. So I have questions. Has social media become the courtroom before the courtroom?
Yeah, they. That's why I said they need to stop posting all this extra stuff that be. I mean, it matters to the people that's involved. Like if somebody like the Diddy situation, the whole world don't need to know that. Like you could show he got arrested, the trial, all that. That should be private unless you go to court and go sit in there. Like we shouldn't be knowing play by play what's going on. Like that doesn't. That's not affecting the entire world. It affected people, but he didn't even get convicted for all of the stuff that he was accused of, or even on trial for that. But and other stuff, all these celebrity news and stuff, I feel like certain stuff shouldn't even be on the news. It is news, but the stuff that should be on the news, it should be things that affect us globally, things about the election, stuff like that, or like um changes in government and if it's assassination of president or something like that. Um, things like that's affect us as a whole, not incidents that affect a small group of people. Like it should be dealt with, but we don't need to know the whole. That's a distraction from the stuff that we need to be worried about. It's propaganda, and they want us to focus on that and not realize that there's an awakening. happen.
Okay. Well said. Are people too quick to judge based on viral clips?
I think they are. I think you should definitely look stuff up before you like if you see a video on social media, fact check it before you you know take it to be as Bible or that is fact because you don't know. In this day and age of 2026, technology is so advanced. We ain't we ain't on Japan level yet or China, but we are advanced to a point to where a lot of people can't tell the difference between AI and an authentic video with human people. It's getting harder and harder to tell. Um, I still can see, and there are some people that are because, like, even when you play video games, like I remember the difference from like the basketball, like from when it like years ago up to now, the graphics, like it almost looks. Some people have thought like they've seen people playing the game, and then they came in and seen and they thought they were watching an actual basketball game because that's how clear when they're not used to seeing that. So to them, that's like, well, but then when they told them, they was like, oh, that look like it, you know. So it's hard to tell. It's getting harder and now they're able to do like face skin. You can put like a filter of someone else's face or something, and they have skin masks now. I don't, which is all of these things are like, what are you trying? Like, it's one thing to have like a filter of a face of a random face, not of another actual human person. Like, if you want to put a filter on and be silly or whatever, like stuff like that. But I don't really see the reason other than it's nothing positive to be able to put someone else's face on your over your face and make it look like you're them while you're recording the video. There's nothing good that could come from that. The only reason that should be used is for movies or something like that, like that type of technology. But people that go on the internet should not have access to be people. Regular people should not have access to skin masks because why are you selling it? It's just weird. Unless it's only sold on Halloween or something, and then it's still weird because these are real people face. It's not like a witch or a werewolf or these is real people face. They got Donald Trump skin mask. They got celebrity skin mask. Like you pull it down, cover up your neck, and you tuck it in, and it look like you got they now if you probably close up on it, you probably see. I never seen one in person. I only seen and that's again I only see the video, so I don't know how good it looks in real life. But I just don't see the purpose of it. It's no good. You doing you have negative intention because the only thing I could think outside of making a movie is like you're trying to scam or you're trying to do steal someone's identity or you're trying to break in and you doing using their face to do a face scan. Like I don't know. There's nothing good that could come out of it outside of if they're filming a movie. Like that type of so I don't think everyone should have access to it because people going to use it for bad intent.
Um, how much responsibility do creators have for what they post online?
They're totally responsible because they're the ones, unless you just listening to what someone else told you, but you're still responsible. If you're an adult and
So
this is what you're
100%.
posting, yeah, you the one that's posting it, unless you sign to a label or something, but then you know how you're not gonna have uh you're not gonna be in charge of making decisions if you like so if you're posting content and it's your content you created and you decide to upload it, yeah. Unless you're like I said, signed to someone, and then this is, but then you still have a choice. Do you want to stay in that contract when if they're, or you should know about what all the details before you agree to a contract like that. That's unsatisfactory to you. But outside of being in a contract, if you're posting and you have this is your desire, you're like, I want to post this, nobody told you to, you're not tied down, legally binding agreement, then yeah, it's your decision. And whether people like it or not, they are role models because parents suck. So like a lot of parents suck. And so, you know, that's what celebrities are doing. They may not have asked to be, or that maybe that wasn't their goal. They just wanted to do music, but unfortunately, this is what comes with it. You got slow people like that lady and her daughter, and look, her she grown, her and the daughter grown. She gonna raise her to be a booster. She think that's the way of life. And now look where it got 'em, right where they don't want to be. Happy Humpty. Play stupid game, win stupid prize. Let the church say amen. People don't be thinking about before they do stuff. They just, and people are so narcissistic that they want attention, even if it's gonna risk your freedom. You're like, oh, there's no way I'm gonna get caught for this. Like posting this stuff that I stole. Like they ain't gonna. But I just gotta get praise. I gotta get praised. And then you're gonna get all the praise when you locked up in there with Big Bertha. She gonna be you gonna have a girlfriend in there. I said, and then they gonna have a girlfriend in there. Big Bertha, or one of them COs gonna try to take them down. People crazy. Do you know what be happening in prison? Like whether male or female, men in prison is worse than women, but like, and it depends on the location too. But like, if you hear the stories that I be hearing about it, I don't know why you should do everything in your power to not.
Are you team free Mello, free Diddy, or free Tory?
If somebody committed a crime and they got caught,
Hmm?
if somebody committed a crime and they got caught, what am I saying freedom for? Is they guilty?
Well,
All those people did.
Diddy not really guilty. The crime that he got. I'm saying the crime
He's
that he was
guilty of what
convicted
they
of
charged him with. That's
was
why
some
he's in prison.
bullshit.
I mean, it's not. It's a law that been, but and people probably do that junk all the time, not realizing that you're breaking the law. But it's still nonetheless you broke the law, and
They
you're
weren't gonna make
in.
an example out of
I mean, it's still a law.
it. Yeah, it is. But it'd be like a fun.
Not when you do it to the extent that he does.
Hmm? Well,
But that's the answer. If you're guilty of what they accused you of, and you got caught, no. Why am I saying to you? You're not got caught. You shouldn't have did what you did.
Tory might not be guilty. You the only one that might not be guilty.
Well, he never said who did it, so that's his fault too. Because what? Because it seems like, and that's what everybody's saying, like he took the rap. So again, you can't
Yo,
keep
AB
saying
voice. Stupid ass. Stupid ass.
right. So you can't really. You chose to do that. Like you could have been said. I don't think he ever said like admitted that he did. He just took it.
They be like, this shit is organic. This shit is organic. We trash shit.
I told you.
Just ice tea. Yeah. It's just ice tea. Nothing else. You know, sweet. It's like a eye drop of fucking flavor. It's really like water.
Dripping like water. You want? I got.
Of the cup, and then you gotta rub your finger on it and dip it in the cup and stir it around. That's all the flavor you got. Nah, I'm exaggerating. Try it.
No.
Just try it. Give me your opinion on that flavor, because I'm not gonna open another review. I won't waste it.
So you want me to
I
waste
want you
it?
to try it and tell me you like it.
I know. I already. I'm the one who told you it was nasty.
Good, but that's peach. This one is orange maple herbal.
Diet shit. Diet shit. Don't never.
It ain't diet. Shit. It don't say diet. Don't
that's what it is. It say no. What is it? Organic?
Nah, it say caffeine free.
It said you said organic.
Yeah, organic ain't diet. Organic is diet.
Organic that means it don't got no sugar or nothing. It's telling you that
organic means it came from earth or some shit. It's actually natural. That's what organic means.
Yeah, naturally.
Organic sugar.
It don't got no sugar.
No, but I'm just saying if you have organic sugar, this doesn't have anything added to it, but it has sugar in it, I'm sure.
And that shit ain't organic. They be damn lying.
Yeah, they do be lying, but
organically fake.
It tastes organic. Oh, what was the other question? Did I ask you already? Oh, are we losing perspective in the pursuit of going viral? That's a good question. I want you to really expound on that. Are we losing perspective in the pursuit of going viral?
Yeah. People are, because people just they do anything for clout, like the song said. Like they just want people care more about attention and fame than they care about surviving and having actual money. And
maybe that is surviving.
And then they do crazy stuff. It's not like stuff that could hurt you, like jackass. Like whose idea? Like why you wanna damn near kill yourself? You doing all this crazy shit.
It's the risk.
Money.
It's the risk. Yeah, because of the
to
reward.
Be famous. You know,
the reward of fame is money, and then you get power. You get
there are ways
respect.
To get there without.
It is ways to get there without, but a lot of people like instant gratification. So it's just like, why does this guy get up every day and go buy lottery tickets when he could just save up his money and put it in the stock market, or put it on a CD, or open a business, or whatever? You know what I mean? Why don't we do any of these other options instead of losing money every single day for something that could potentially make up for all the times that you wasted the money, possibly, but it's just a dream that may never come. But the consistency that they put into that could be well spent in other ways, but it's just the idea of the instant gratification that drives them to do that. Because that's what people want. People don't want to have to work for shit. People just want it to be easy. That's why I say, like, I feel like it seems like it's simple enough to answer that question because a lot of people despise social media. So because of that, you get the answer where it's like they need to go read a book or they need to go outside. They need to, you know what I mean? But perspective in the pursuit of going viral, what does it mean to go viral, first of all? Like if you go viral, you literally could change your life if you go viral on the right platform, if you go viral for the right reason. You know what I mean? Sometimes the bad reason is the right reason, but you going viral could spark a whole bunch of other things that you probably had going on. You get the attention that you needed, or you get attention that could cause you financial issues or employment issues, whatever. But I think it's to be understood that it's just like technology. Like you you make use of it in a useful way, so it's not a burden. You know, like I keep it a stack with you. Like um, I love the idea that you could possibly go viral if I'm going viral for something um, that I want to go viral, right? So if it's something that I want to go viral and it goes viral, that's a good day. But for me to just like light my hair on fire so I can go viral, like I don't like partake in that stuff. I don't do many. I might seem corny because I don't do many challenges, TikTok dances. I don't, you know, even I rap and don't even do the rap challenges or whatever. You know, I just sometimes I just don't be wanting to do it. But with me, you know, putting out information to people about certain things, I find more value in just doing it and just having a document of me putting this information out for free, you know, as opposed to me getting money for because you could get the information the same way I got the information. It's just sometimes people don't want to look for it. And a lot of times I like to talk about it because of experiences that I have with people that may need the information that I have sometimes. You know. But going viral, I think they do because, like I said, it's that lottery ticket. Um, People really want to go viral because they want that chance, maybe second chance to become popular, or they want that chance to get out of the situation that they're in. Some people think going viral is going to change their life. Like I remember
But you gotta be
working with
consistent.
somebody.
Because just because you go viral,
You have to be consistent, right? Because a
people
lot of
have
people,
gone
the
viral,
behind the
but they
behind
didn't
the
keep up the
scenes,
momentum.
right? The behind the scenes of streaming is intense. Like there was this girl that worked with me, similar to this situation. She's like, she's gonna be an influencer, and I think it was like Instagram. She was just on Instagram, and she wanted a lot of people to know her and stuff like that, or whatever. And she just had really long nails, and I don't know what her thing was that she did. I just she people just look at her and she just talks to her or whatever. But I mean, that was what she was gonna do. She was gonna quit the job to just do that, and she believed that that was gonna do it for her. You know what I mean? It may seem like delusions of grandeur, or it may be some real shit. It may be like, yo, like maybe she's going in the right direction. You never know. Like with those risks, you just got to do it the right way. Like the only thing I tell people is like understand marketing, understand how to use ad campaigns and stuff like that. Don't just don't just jump into it and then just be like, yo, I'm gonna make money today. Like have a goal. And a lot of times the goal is not just to be on the camera. Sometimes the goal is doing something else, and being on camera is a byproduct of what you're doing so you can have cross promotion. So you have an idea of what you want to do before you start doing it. A lot of people don't have that idea set. and that's where they fall short because a lot of people want to do a lot of different things. Like it's a lot of people that cook really well. Like some of my best friends, you know, what I mean, cook really well, and going viral is hard. Yeah, maintaining that same level of viewership because you gotta recreate the will. Like you went viral, so you wanna go viral again. Like you definitely want to go viral after you go viral the first time. Like I felt it. Like, my life didn't change. You know what I mean? We went viral before. You know what I mean? Off of somebody else's joint, but it was funny enough for us to catch a lot of energy from people, and a lot of people, they write in the comments, "Oh, we paid for this," and all that. Like, nah, it just the algorithm caught it because it was catchy, it was something silly. But what I'm saying is, that viral moment when you get it, or if you think you would get it, you have to do a lot of stuff to cultivate that. Sometimes it might just come from you being natural because some people are just talented automatically. And when they get on the screen, their charisma it exudes automatically. So it's just natural. They're a natural performer. But others, they have to do a script. They gotta write it down. They gotta do everything we do, all these conversations, like I'll be honest with you, this is all improvisational. We just having a back and forth. No, nothing is written. You know what I mean? It's us. But a lot of times we want to organize it, but I think I've always been like on the fence with that because I feel like the chemistry that we have just doing it organically is way better than if we scripted it. It would take some of that authenticity away from us. You know what I mean? So I like the back and forth, and then sometimes you get a little long winded with certain things, but it's best to get the idea out the best way that you can, kind of. But you don't want, but we have to also understand concise is always good when you're dealing with a large audience. You're dealing with a lot, like talking to a lot of people. You want to make sure that you're not over telling your story. You know what I mean? Because then people is gonna be like, okay, you know what I mean? Land, go back to it. You know what I mean? But the viral moment, man, is
I'm not sure I want to be viral. My voice could be viral. Like you can hear me talking, but I don't want to be I don't want people to I don't want to be recognized. Like I never wanted fame. Like I do music if I had the opportunity, which I don't think at this point in my life I never really pushed or tried to do whatever seriously. That was never the intent. It's just something that I just wrote songs because it just happened. It was never a goal to be whatever. I mean, it was a thought, but I never really tried to pursue it. But I wouldn't be interested in that anyway because I wouldn't want people to recognize me and be coming up to. I don't like people. Like I mean, I can have a conversation with people and get along with most people if they respect me and everything, but I don't want people running up to me asking for my autograph and like that was never. I don't want people finding out where I live. Like these people is crazy. Like I don't want people posting stuff about. You got to worry about people talking junk that you know or in your area or people that's hating on you that you or whatever like or you have issues with that or have had some contact with or whatever, but now you got to worry about strangers disliking you and all this and all the negative stuff they got to say in addition to whatever else you already got to deal with in your personal life. Like that's too much unwanted energy. Like I don't know what like that's that's not something I see how the industry is and all that. Like I don't know. Like I would like to be a content creator and make
but you
money,
going
but
viral
I
ain't
was just
necessarily the industry. That's
But we
you.
on YouTube as a
Yeah,
platform.
but that's you. You your own whatever. Like you're a partner. Like you're not in the industry, as they say.
Yeah, but there be content creators, if we talk in high level, that uh expand beyond the YouTube space.
Sometimes that be third party. Yeah, they take on third party contracts. So you just gotta be mindful. Like it might look lucrative, but you gotta read the fine print, have a good lawyer go over it, or at least now you can chat GPT it, have chat GPT take all the information and go through it and see what you should look out for. You know? But I'll be honest, like if you do, it's the thing. Like if you do make it, you can worry about that later because once you made it, you don't care. Like you got it. If you don't, it's like all the things you're saying why you shouldn't do it, why you don't want it, or whatever. You may not get it anyway, but if you want it, it's things that you'll have to do to get it. And then it's like you just have to welcome it. Like I'm not trying to do things out of my way to be famous and shit like that, but I'm doing things that I think is gonna get me a bag.
Yeah, like I don't even want to be on camera. It's like I don't like being on camera. And people would say like, "Oh, you need to. Who is that talking?" And you need to show your face. Or other people that I knew would be like, "You need. Why are you not?" I'm like, because I don't want to be on camera. This is not about me. This is not. To, we're talking about topics. We're not talking about me personally. So you don't need to see me. You just need to hear my voice.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, that's true because of your podcast is really audio. But I think the value of seeing the sincerity behind and the conviction behind um, your statements and ideologies, that's important also to your audience. Your audience wants to see you, but if you don't want them to see you because you have some subconscious feelings or whatever, that's fine too. But I think the part of the fame part comes after because the viral moment, you viral for that, whatever the fuck that was, like that you did, right? But you being the person that can continue to be a viral moment, that means that you have it. And a lot of that is just self-confidence. Like it do take a lot to be in front of a crowd. It do take a lot to be in front of a camera. It do take a lot to talk to people that don't even know you. It takes a lot. But then if you think about the bigger picture, like, okay, what am I getting out of this? What do I want? Like, do I want to just like not do anything? Do I want to just like just enjoy my privacy or whatever? Do I want things to be easier? Do I want like what do I want? You know what I mean? And then when I think about those things, like I know I want this, that, whatever, and I know what I got to do to achieve it, I'm going to push myself to get those things. But that's the person. You got to be willing to go through the adversity, meet those challenges head on, and push past them. The challenge is being around a whole bunch of people and anxiety that comes from that, then overcome that by throwing your own, uh, you know, event and
Never gonna
pulling
happen.
up to that event with a whole bunch of people and just, just breaking the ice with everybody, just talking to them, giving them a 60-second prepared speech. Like you gotta do it if that's something that you want to pursue. If you wanted to be a news reporter, then you would have to go out there. You would have to get those stories. You have to be on camera. You might not want to do that, but I'm just saying, like, if you really want to dive deep into the influence part, at some point you could have to have a meet and greet, but you don't have to be you can be a faceless brand and still have a fucking viral
Um, I think I don't be wanting to talk to people because most people, and this may sound messed up or whatever, but most people are simple minded and they don't have anything to discuss. So there's nothing like they talk about things that I can't relate to, nor do I want to most of the time. And it's like, so I gotta sit here and pretend like I care with this. And then every once in a while, I meet someone that I can have a conversation with. There are people I'm not, but I think a majority of people are simple minded and they're closed minded and they're easily entertained by things that don't matter, and that's takes up their main focus of their life. Like they watch their reality shows every week and they they're glued to their social media. Like I use social media. I'm not gonna say that I don't, but it's not like, and I don't do things that are that exciting. But I feel like the thoughts in my, well, that's because I don't apply my thoughts to like reality, or I get overwhelmed and it's hard to like keep my focus on stuff. But there are things that I want to do that actually mean something. Like, and I feel like people are just existing, and it's like they don't care about what will people say about you when you want. What did you leave behind? Now about certain stuff is like it don't matter what people think, but like, do you just want to be forgotten, or do you want to make a difference? Like, or do you only care about yourself, or do you? And I don't mean just make a difference. I mean make a difference for the country, for the world, not just, like people don't think like they're easily entertained by negativity and all the propaganda and stuff. That's they're all sheep. Like, so it's like I those are most of the people that I meet. So I don't be wanting, and then that's like that energy is heavy. All of that, like, just I don't, or like it pretend, because then it's like you want to be nice, you don't want to be rude. So you may engage if you're in a space where you have to conversate with people. You don't want to just sit there and look at them or whatever. But then it's like, how long do I have to be? After about an hour or two, it's like I gotta go because you not giving me a reason to want to stick around. Like,
it's like
and
swallowing vomit. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, but I don't
the
have to do that for
situation
my
is like
life.
is if you have to do it,
Bad enough I gotta do it for my job, and
but
I'm
it's like
getting paid for that,
but
and
that's what
I
I'm
know
saying.
that
That's what
every
I'm
two
saying.
weeks I'm gonna get this.
It's gonna
I
it's
don't
gonna
know
make
what I'm gonna
sense.
get every month or whatever
But
doing
it
content
would only but
creation.
that's what I'm saying.
That's what you
A
put
lot of
into.
people are going hard for that viral moment. And why are they going hard for that viral moment? It's important. They're going hard for that viral moment because they're the lottery ticket buyers. They're the people that are, they're gonna go to the casino, they're gonna do it. Those are the people that take those risks because they believe in luck. And the viral moment, oh, let's do the dance because everybody's doing the challenge or whatever, and being noticed for doing that and getting a thousand new followers or whatever. That's a dopamine hit for a lot of people. Social media, social currency is really, it's like fucking bitcoins, like to people. Like it's really important to people. So like a value level where it's like it means something because all these people like this post. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. Like since sliced bread, like now, like that's really important to people. So what I'm saying is that I think people may be simple because most of the people that are buying into that ideology are probably a little simpler. Like, you know what I mean? They don't, their values are very limited. But the people that don't really care about it, a lot of them also understand the value that comes with it. So aside of that, there's always a compromise for something like again, business you compromise with time, free time that you might like to have or whatever. It all goes to research and development, and that can take months, months of hanging out, having drinks. You know what I mean? Arizona, what the hell is it? Arizona Hearts. Pause.
Cowboy cocktail. Cowabunga.
Um, but yo, like all these different, all these different things that happen, they're as a result of people trying to get out of this systematic perpetual state that they live in, where they gotta get up, go to work, or gotta get up, get the kids ready for school, put them on the bus or whatever, go to work, take a little lunch break, come back from lunch break, go back to work, stay working for a little bit longer, and then finally go home. People get tired of that shit. So they want to win that fucking Powerball scratch off. They want to get viral under their little social media handle that they created. They want the opportunity to change their life. So that's simple because they already feel like they've hit a dead end or they worked so hard or whatever. You got to look at the advantages in being an influencer. Like you can get new up and coming influencers to pay you to broadcast their shit. You know what I mean? Like that viral shit, like it's hard to get it, but when you get it, you got that shit. You know what I mean? But it trying to recreate what you did to get it is almost failure. Like sometimes, because that's the thing that made it good was again that organic, that authenticness or authenticity.
Okay, you got anything else? Any other questions for me?
No, that was the last one.
That's all the topics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Get Lifted. 30 is the new 20. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe, and click the notification bell so you're notified the next time we post or go live. I'm La Hefa, and follow us on our socials. They're linked on our page. Um, but yeah, thank you guys. Bye bye.